Have you ever lived next to someone who made your life so miserable that even your own home stopped feeling like peace? That is exactly my story, and I call it Neighbor from Hell. My name is Leora, and that's exactly what happened to me in cozy Cedar Grove apartments on Maplewood Lane, a quiet little complex where sunlight used to spill through the balconies and neighbors greeted each other with warm smiles. Or at least that's how it began, before Damien Crow moved in and turned everything upside down. When I first moved into my little apartment, I thought life had finally started to turn around. The rent was affordable, the street was quiet, and the sunlight through my balcony felt like heaven after months of struggling in a noisy dorm. But then came him, Damien Crow, the neighbor who turned my dream into a nightmare. The first time I saw him, he looked harmless, maybe even friendly, holding a box of tools and nodding at me with a smile that almost fooled me. I thought, wow, a nice neighbor, maybe even helpful. Oh, how wrong I was. That night at 2 a.m., I woke up to the loudest heavy metal music I had ever heard in my life, shaking the walls like an earthquake. I banged the wall hoping he'd get the hint, but instead the music only got louder, like he was mocking me. My heart boiled with anger, but I told myself maybe it's just one night. But one night turned into every night. Every morning, I dragged myself to work with red eyes and heavy yawns, while Damien strolled out of his door, fresh as ever, whistling as if he'd just ruined my life on purpose. It didn't stop at music. Soon came the trash problem. He started leaving garbage bags right outside my door instead of his own. Rotten food smell filled the hallway, making me gag every time I came home. I knocked on his door once, politely asking, "Could you please keep your trash in front of your own apartment?" He gave me this fake innocent smile and said, "Oh, sorry, must have been a mistake." But the very next day, another bag was waiting for me, dripping juice onto my welcome mat. I wanted to scream. I wanted to throw that garbage back into his living room, but I kept quiet, thinking maybe he'll get tired of playing these games. He didn't. Weeks passed, and his chaos only grew worse. One afternoon, I was enjoying tea on my balcony when suddenly water splashed down all over me, soaking my clothes and books. I looked up, and there he was, watering his plants carelessly, grinning down as if it was the funniest thing ever. My blood boiled. My hands clenched, and I shouted, "Damien, are you blind or just evil?" He only laughed. "Relax, neighbor, it's just water." Just water? My diary was ruined, my clothes soaked, and my peace shattered. I wanted to march upstairs and pour a bucket of paint on his head. But again, I held myself back because deep inside, I thought maybe complaining would only make him worse. But the breaking point came one evening when I invited my colleagues over for dinner. I spent hours cooking, cleaning, setting up candles to make my little apartment look warm and perfect. Just when my guests sat down to eat, boom! His speakers blasted so loud that the floor vibrated. My walls literally shook. My glasses rattled on the table, and my guests looked at me in shock. One of them whispered, "Do you live next to a nightclub?" Embarrassment and rage exploded inside me. I stormed out of my apartment, banged on his door until he opened it with that smug smile, and I yelled, "Turn it down now, or I swear I'll call the police." For the first time, his smile faded, and he leaned closer, whispering in this dark, mocking tone, "Go ahead, sweetheart, call them. Let's see who they believe. You, the quiet little girl, or me, the one who knows how to play the system? My heart froze, fear mixing with fury, but I refused to let him see me weak. I turned around, slammed my door, and called the police right there. When the officers came, Damien acted like a perfect angel, smiling politely, saying, "Oh, officers, we were just celebrating a little. I didn't realize it was too loud. My apologies." The officers gave him a warning and left. And the second they were gone, he winked at me through the peephole like he had won. That night, I sat in my bed shaking with rage, tears in my eyes, wondering how one person could turn an entire life into hell. I thought of moving out, but why should I run? Why should I lose my home because of his madness? So I did something different. I started documenting everything, every trash bag, every noise night, every petty act. I recorded it all on my phone with dates and times. Weeks later, when he blasted his music again, I didn't call the police empty handed. This time, I showed them everything: the videos, the recordings, the photos of trash leaking outside my door. This time, they didn't just warn him, they fined him and put him on official notice. For the first time, I saw his face pale, his fake confidence cracking, and oh, how sweet that moment felt. After that, Damien tried to behave, but I knew his type. He couldn't stand losing. He still gave me dirty looks, still muttered curses under his breath when passing me in the hall, but the trash stopped, the music softened, and for the first time in months, I slept peacefully. And as I lay in bed, smiling into the silence, I realized something important. Sometimes you can't fight fire with fire because bullies thrive on your reaction. Sometimes the best revenge is patience, proof, and the courage to stand your ground. Because in the end, the neighbor from hell wasn't the winner. I was.